And so after a week, I revisited my cuttings and came to see that none of them were wilted and dry. Everything was alive and well, and I was super excited to figure out which media was the best media using at-home contraptions. Again, this was about a week later. I just opened up the cover to see if I could see any roots coming out, and I was. Look at those little babies. They're so cute. um, I was actually really excited to see how successful this already was, and I didn't even look into the media yet, but I can already tell this was going to be some good stuff coming up. Um, so the water looked a little okay. Not bad, not great. I'll take it. And then the Pro Mix, it was hard to see what was going on in the Pro Mix. Um, but yeah, let's take these little babies apart and see what's going on. So I just moved it to a table and I'm gonna uncover the bag so I can fully take all this apart. It was really great to see the water, like the condensation in the bag. So that means that the little micro habitat was working. And again, just a little close up to see all of these. This is now the next day from the previous video. And yeah, we had a little bit of wiltings, but it's okay. We still see some roots that are even longer now. I was really surprised to see that some roots were actually coming out of nodes that weren't sitting in any media. It was just exposed. But I think it was because of the high humidity content that I had created that really promoted this root formation, especially like in this one. These roots were crazy. Even though they were little, there were so many roots coming out of them. Made me super excited to pick apart what was going on. And again, the Pro Mix was kind of hard to see, but as long as there was no wilting, I was happy. Nothing was dry as a bone this time. It was fantastic. I was thrilled. And this was only a week's worth of growth. Can you imagine if I left this for another week? I think it would have been even better. So, picking these apart. First, we did the water. We looked at the roots. The roots were pretty good, I'm not going to lie. They were nice and long. I was pretty happy. Nothing to complain about. I feel like they could have been a little better, like the Pro Mix was pretty exciting to see. Just be careful when you're removing it from the Pro Mix to try not to like rip out the roots at all. This one, we had a 66% success rate, but the success that we had was really great. You had those really long roots, super great. This was the this was the leca. I kind of tilted them over and poured it out so I didn't have to rip the roots, and that seemed to work pretty well. These had really great roots, super long, super great. That one, I don't know if I would really call it a success. I guess you can because there is one root, but these are really long, really great. Super happy. This one even had leca stuck to it, but I removed it and it was good to go. Next, we have the broken clay. This, in my opinion, was the most successful or had the best quote unquote root formation out of all 5 media that I was working with. But that's up to interpretation. The clay balls were just kind of sad upon looking at them. They're kind of wilted. I think the weight of this clay was just so heavy and kind of just too compact onto the stems. It was hard for the roots to grow. So it was a little misleading at the top. There was a lot of roots, but once I removed the clay to see what was going on underneath, it was kind of sad. So now just going through it to compare and contrast all of these roots, This one was the water again. Really nice length. I probably should have measured them, but it's just kind of an eyeball thing and just up for interpretation to see which one is the best. Um, and yeah, the Pro Mix I thought was really great. If all you have is Pro Mix at hand, I totally think it'll work. I think the reason why that one little one didn't work is because it was just really small. It was probably a more adult part of the plant where I took the cutting. Um, and then the leca I thought was really good as well. We had some really nice root formations, except for this one. Um, but the other two, they were really long, really great. And the abundance of them as well was super good. I feel like a broken record at this point, but I was just really happy to see that it worked this time. The broken clay, again, in my opinion, I think this was the best one because not only do we have long roots, but we had tons of them. And all, not to mention, all three of them did have root formation as well, so we had a 100% success rate here. And last but not least, the sad heavy clay balls. You could also see that there's clay residue on these stems, so I just think it really just squished them and made it really hard for the roots to form. The one that I did get roots to form were just so tiny. And here is a quick overview. I took the stems with successful roots and separated them from the failed roots, failed stems, which are on the bottom, just to compare and contrast. And again, final thoughts. I think this was a really great and interesting project. I think that the overall failure and then rethinking about what I had to do next as my plan of action really helped devise this outcome of creating a high humidity tent almost. And yeah, I recommend you try this at home, see what you get, let me know. If not, if you only use one of these types of media and you think you did something different or you want to let me know, the comments are open. I'm here for an open discussion. And I hope you enjoyed this little series. Thanks.